It is Friday, June 20th, 10:51 p.m. I'm going to make this one quick because I don't particularly want to do this today. Granted, I really don't know what else I want to do tonight. I'm going to go up and plan some more things out in my room. Even though it's late, I am a bit tired. But the thing I did today is I helped, cut a fence, do some weird woodworking things. There's the notches on the side of the wood board that make it so it can slide into the poles, and I had to remake those notches, which was a process. There's 30 different boards I had to cut and then do that. It was annoying. But the other thing I had to do is my mom wanted to get some stumps out of the ground so it would be easier to mow along our property line lawn line, because we are backed up against a forest. Well, we are in a forest, kind of, I think. We are in a forest. And some of our property, or our yard line is flower beds, or there's a steep drop off on a hill. But there's one section that's pretty much right up against the tree line. And so she wanted to get rid of the stumps there so it would make it easier to mow, which makes sense. But we don't want to use quote unquote the big cranes and stuff to pull those out, because we did those before and it absolutely ruined the grass in some places. And we already have enough trouble actually growing grass because it's weirdly sandy here. So we don't want to use that. So I had to bust out the chainsaw. So we have two. We have a really old gas-powered chainsaw, which is more powerful, and then we have an electric chainsaw that runs off batteries, which is less powerful, but significantly more convenient. But I don't like heavy machinery. And maybe people wouldn't classify a chainsaw as heavy machinery, but if it can kill me, it's heavy machinery. And yeah. So I don't like it. I don't like using it. I feel unsafe using it. It's not the fact that I feel like I am going to hurt myself by using it, like I'm inept in using it. It's just I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel safe using something like that because I just don't feel comfortable doing it. It's one of those things that you just don't feel comfortable using. And the problem is that my dad my grandfather likes to do woodworking, and so my dad really wanted us to use us to show off to my grandfather about how good of his father he is. It's weirdly complicated. So when I was younger, I would learn how to use the chainsaw, this weed whacker, and this weed whacker we have an attachment that was essentially just a saw blade. It was really weird, like a circular saw blade. I learned how to use a cat thing that had with the crane and the arm and dig, and I told him, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing these. I don't like doing them. Even though I know how to do it, I don't feel comfortable using these things. And I feel like one should be okay saying, all right, I understand. But it never pans out that way, because when I had to use that little, I don't even know what to call it, it's just a cat. It's I had to use it, and literally my dad was like, all right, your grandfather's coming over, so you're going to have to do this, because he wanted to use me to show off how good of a father he is. And my mom frames it as oh, he just wants to show off how good of a grandson he is. You are. I'm like, no, this is all him, and I really hate that. And the combination of just the unease of using heavy machinery plus that disdain for it because it's always been used to make my dad look good for his dad made me really, really hate using those things. When I was making the cutting the fence gate thingy, I could have used a circular saw. We have one of those things you can put and you just go and it's circular saw that you push. I think we have a jigsaw that one of those things that goes up and down and you can push through. We have those. I refuse to use them because it's not that I can't use them. I've built a guitar before. I know how to use a lot of these more dangerous materials or dangerous tools, but I just feel uneasy using them, and I'd rather not. But it's also it brings back just like I don't like it because I have this huge disdain because of how my father used me to look good through using heavy machinery. I don't like using it. So I just used a hacksaw and then a chisel to dig out the grooves for the slide into the poles, which was great. Easy, fine. Maybe a lot of more work, but it was easy. But then my mom wanted to do the chainsaw, and she's safe. She knows how to use chainsaws. But it feels like she doesn't have the correct etiquette when using a chainsaw. Like, when I'm in the kitchen, I get very nervous around her when she's holding a knife because she does not know how to point the knife in a safe direction. She won't tell me if there's a knife, if she's going to bring a knife behind me. So if I need to clean off a knife or get it from a sink, I'll pull it up and there's a knife behind you. And I go to where I'm cutting things because that feels safe. I don't know where the person is going. They don't know it feels safe. Or if I'm holding it around people and they see it, I hold it up, I point it away from them. I hold it away so it makes them feel safe and less uncomfortable with a sharp object that could do some serious harm. She does not know how to do it. She'll point with it. She'll when she walks around pointing out. And it makes me feel so uncomfortable being around the kitchen when she's cutting because I don't know what she's going to do with a knife, and I don't think she has the right etiquette to hold it and move it around. That's the same way I feel with a chainsaw. I am very afraid that she is going to cut herself. So I feel very comfortable because I can stand very far away. And I did. I stood about 20 feet away because I was not taking the chance with her on that. But she would use it and cut it in ways that made me very afraid that the blade was going to catch and kick back up. And it was very nerve-wracking to watch. So that's why I had to take over. And I will point this out because my sister is really annoying about this. It was not because I didn't think a woman could do it. I've never thought that in my entire life, even though my sister accuses me of things like that. Thought never comes across. It is purely just based on an evaluation of the person. My sister complains oh, you always think, when we were on that family vacation, it's oh, you always assume that that I know where we're going. I had directions and I knew where I was going, and then I was oh, maybe I don't, but I'm gonna keep going just in case because I don't really want to put it in. Open my phone and just put it in. I think I know where I'm going. And then my sister asked, oh, are you going to put it in? I'm no, I think I know where I'm going. And then she's oh, why do I have to do everything? You assume just because I'm a woman that I am the caretaker of this family. I'm no, that is not it at all. That is very rude of you to assume. That is do I assume that my mother will know where to go? That is not because she is my mother, and that's not because she's a mother. That is because she is my mother. She is the person I know, and I know that she does these things because that is her personality. It gets very frustrating, so I really want to make that distinction. It's not because she is a woman holding heavy machinery. It's because she's my mom, and I know her tendencies, and it feels very unsafe when she does those things. And she did great, but it really made me uncomfortable when she was using just the end of the chainsaw to cut things, and she was moving it, and it felt very unsafe. I let her go for a while, a good 30 minutes, trying to cut out the stumps, but then at a point I was just hey, no, for one, you're just doing the cutting wrong. She was trying to go, start at the line she wanted to cut in and then cut down. She could not figure out why the stump wasn't coming out. And that was because she never cut into the center. And it was just a little frustrating watching her try and figure out that way. And figure out what was going on when I was trying to tell her, hey, you haven't cut the middle, you start too low, and you go down and you don't have enough space. And that was just frustrating on my end because I just like feel like I could visualize it more than her, and it was annoying because I really didn't want to be out there to begin with. So I wanted it to be done as soon as possible, and her struggling. That's just me, but it was like she was using the edge, and I was so afraid it was going to kick back in a way, and she was cutting sideways. If it kicked back, it would hit her shins. It was very nerve-wracking to watch. The same way with her in the kitchen. I get very nervous with her when I'm in the kitchen and she's holding a knife. I don't like it. So I took over and did the stumps while she shoveled in the holes. But yeah, I don't like using those things at all. Like, even though I like volunteer, like my mom was like, "Oh, you don't not like using chainsaws." I'm like, "Oh, I despise it." But watching you do that was making me so anxious that I would rather feel the anxiety of using this than feel the anxiety of watching you do something and potentially chopping off your leg. So that was my day. I'm gonna maybe go hang some stuff up in my room. Well, I can't really do much hanging. I'm gonna plan on where I'm gonna hang things. And then, yeah, tomorrow is my day off, and Sunday because it's the weekend. And I'm going to do nothing of note. May go to the range again, do something like that. But we'll see what will happen then.